Kevin, that's a show.
Right.
And naked. I'm naked.
Oh, Lord, please, don't stand up. Hey, there's something behind you, Kevin. There's something behind you.
Turn around and bend over.
No, don't do that. Lord. You don't have to.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, now Wendell's been recording.
Hi, Kevin. And hello, everybody. We're so happy you're looking at us because we love doing this and it's fun. And I hope you keep looking. So thank you.
Yeah. All 30 of you.
All 30, that's right. All 33 of you. 33. Don't leave anybody out. Damn it.
Wendell.
Yes. Oh. Hey, Kevin Robinson, you don't look at Seinfeld, so the significance of that shirt is, it's okay. You see, it's like a, what do you call it, a generic shirt, right? Number one dad, right? In Seinfeld, I forget what Jerry's dad was wearing it, and then who started yelling at him and says, "Oh, you think
Lloyd Bridges." Lloyd Bridges.
Right. They start arguing about who's the real number one.
He said, "What do you think? You're better than me?"
You know,
because he's wearing this generic shirt.
Well, man, years ago, I gave Marie this ribbon, and it said something like "World's #1 okay-ish mom."
Oh, okay, Audrey. Okay-ish, not even okay, but okay-ish.
Okay-ish, mom. I could not resist buying that when I saw it, man.
That's funny. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Before I forget anything, we're always talking about how, just game shows. To me, I'm always talking about, y'all know, I'm always talking about how game shows are a good representation of what mentality people have, right? Because they can't lose anything and they can't win something. So they're really out there, they're trying. They're really trying. But sometimes they fall. You be sure. Check this out. The Price is Right. You know how it goes. To get on stage, you have to get as close as possible without going over, right?
All right.
Okay. I'm not kidding you. This it's not like this happens. It doesn't happen. It happens, unfortunately, quite a bit. But this particular time, it really showed me something. For one reason, it really stood out. One guy, he bid $800. The next guy bid, I think she bid like $990 or something like that. The next person bid like 1,000. So the last lady, this is the part that kills me. She goes, "Bob, what did they bid?" Because she was really thinking about it, right? She says 800, 950, and 1,000, whatever it was, right? 800, 950, and 1,000, let's say. She goes, $799. Which goes to show you. There's some people that really, but I felt bad because I said that, damn, she's really went over it, thought about it, and her strategy was to make it so the only way she could win is if there was $799. That was her strategy. That was her well thought out.
Yeah.
Now, but the good part, the part made me feel good in a way was this. And you might think this is kind of convoluted, but this is the way I think. I said, damn. Think of it in the world, this crazy world where one person has enough that if he took 1 week off, he could feed everybody in the world and nobody will be hungry. But instead, everybody supports him, or at least they support his right to be a son of a bitch, okay? People starve to death while other people throw away money. All this kind of stuff. This crazy world, but it's not about just mean and evil and bad. It's also about stupid. So I can live with that a little better. That makes sense. I can feel, when people do these crazy things, I say, well, maybe they're not mean, maybe they're not bad. They're just goddamn dumb.
But man, and if, for me, and I've never really watched a lot of those, but for me, if I think that, man, I believe that price right there is less than $800. If I think it's less than 800 or whatever it is, then I'm going to bid like $1.
Exactly, and that's what most people do. But
Maybe she
some
got
people,
maybe she meant to say $1, but got too excited and went the other way.
I think sometimes I think some people just I'm not. It's not just in intense situations either. It's
Yeah.
they just don't. They know there is a strategy. They know they should be thinking about something, but they don't know quite
Especially
what
they're
to
going
do.
on that show. You know, you think they'd everything kind of thought out going on into the show.
Well,
Right.
I
Going
mean,
into the show.
I've
Yeah.
seen like shows that are about trivia, right? They're all about trivia. And they'll come on the show and they'll ask them a question and it happened something like 30 years ago, say, that was before my time. It's a trivia show! Yeah. I know there's one show I really like called Pointless. It's a UK game show, and the guys always, when anybody says it's before my time, he goes, they said it again. They said it again. Before your time. So was, and he'll say something like, so was Winston Churchill. So was William the Conqueror. But you know about that. What are you talking about before your time?
Hey,
Anyway.
Wendell, when I went and saw the Hearns Leonard fight, the first one, it was at Callahan Hall at the University of Detroit, right?
Yes, okay.
Right. So I was there, man, and I was what, in 83 or whatever it was, I was in my 20s, late 20s.
Didn't we all wait outside for you on Puritan? Because you were the
Yes.
only one that had enough money to go to. We all walked down there outside
Right.
and waited around for you to come out.
We went
Right,
to we
right.
went to the hoity-toity one in Royal Oak, man.
Oh,
There
okay.
was one in Royal Oak.
Yeah, at the Royal Oak Theater. I forgot, maybe $35 we paid for this, something like this.
It was more money than we had. I know that, but Kevin
Yeah.
got in. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I was in there, man, and these two older guys, at that point they were older guys, they're probably in their 50s. And they said, who you going for? And I said, Tommy Hearns. They said, why? I said, well, he's a homeboy. I know that. I like Tommy. I said, but I think he has too much reach. And his jab is going to really punish Leonard. Leonard's a tough fighter, no doubt about it. I said, but I think he's going to stop him late. He's just going to basically bust him up.
That's what I thought too.
I said, but the only thing I'm a little afraid of is Tommy's chin. That's what I'm a little bit, that's a little bit suspect, right? So he said, okay, man, that's pretty smart. So he told his boy, he said, hey, man, come here for a minute. This young brother here, he has a good take on the fight, And he says, and I told him, he says, oh, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, well, whether I'm right or wrong, that statement's ridiculous. He said, what do you know about boxing? You're young. I said, the same reason I know about Abraham Lincoln, because I'm fucking reading.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just obvious as the nose in your face, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's history. It's called history,
Just start jabbing him. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, I know, man. So let me show you Ray Robinson and start beating his ass going backwards,
Yeah, right. Eat that, huh?
Old dude.
Yeah. Now that we know better, we know if we were younger and then somebody's 50 or older, even if you don't have a punch, you could beat their ass because they run out of gas too quick. Not 9 out of 10, 19 out of 20 of them. Believe, oh man, never mind. I will start talking about something else. I am going to start talking about something. Remember, I really like that whole idea of like using how many hours you work a day to show. Like you're talking about Kevin Robbins, you're talking about how your mom had to work so many hours in order to buy this
ticket. Yeah, right.
A ticket, and you look at it that way because it's something in deep in your mind when you first start working. How long you had to work for something. Like I remember being a paper boy, but it's a little bit different because, you kind of hours are kind of fluctuating. But when I was working in my first real job that I got paid per hour, I was like, damn, I got to work. I was thinking this way. I got to work almost an hour to get a pack of cigarettes. Okay. I had to work, blah, blah, blah. And I was started thinking about that in terms of that. Like, I'm going to go to dinner. And I got to pay $4 for full dinner. That's 2 hours work because I was getting paid $2 an hour, right?
Right.
That's 2 hours work. So then I'm thinking like the other day we had something to eat, me and my daughter, and we paid like around, it was like $40 for the two of us for a couple of salads, big salads, but nonetheless salads, right? And it's like, damn. So like, I know that people get paid more per hour now, but in my mind, I'm thinking like $40 for two salads, and I'm thinking about that $2 an hour mindset that's still in my brain, right? It's still there, and I'm thinking like, damn, would I work 10 hours for this?
Hell no, you wouldn't.
I know way
No.
in hell, and it's like, golly. And that's how much I had to work for two salads back in 1974, say. I would probably have to work 1 hour.
Yeah.
So I'm
Right.
thinking, do I have to work? Would I have to work for what, in order for that meal to make sense, I had to make $40 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I never made $40 an hour in my life. I never made that much. But when people nowadays demand $40 an hour, I should understand that means they're asking for something that makes sense.
Well,
As
they
opposed
are.
to saying, well, I only made $2 an hour.
Well,
50 years. And there's some people just are still stuck on stupid. They don't understand it like that woman in The Price is Right. They think like,
they're
I
clowns.
weigh everything, I come out with
Yeah. No, they're clowns
humble
because
jumble.
they think they're mad because they think, well, I had to go through this. You got to go through this. No, you didn't. It's I always tell people. I said, yeah, my day wasn't so much better, but it damn sure was cheaper. I said, that's the thing. I said, and even today,
That's true.
I mean, I go out if I take Tina out or something for dinner for Mother's Day or something like that, you're gonna end up spending like $100 and something, like 120 bucks sometimes. You're gonna spend that much, right? Now
Yeah.
think about that. If you're making $15 an hour,
Yeah.
it's like, well,
And
goddamn,
a lot of people are too.
A lot of people are. Hell yeah.
that's one whole day's worth of work.
And and it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Well, yeah.
That's why kids eat free at some of these restaurants is so popular.
Oh, really?
They got a lot of places like that where kids eat free.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not hip to that.
Yeah.
Now here in Antioch, I say that right now.
Oh, really?
At least I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You see that a lot, yeah. Kids eat free. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's shit, man.
Well,
it's crazy, man. It's a
I'll
crazy
tell you what,
world.
man. I tell you what, though, if I was 25 years old now, and I was making $15 an hour, me and my date be going to eat at Chuck E. Cheese, man.
You couldn't even afford that.
I know.
You have to save up for that now, too, boy.
Be cooking at home, man. Cooking at home.
You got to. You got to. Somebody's gonna come up with a bright idea one of these days of even if on a real low level, just having dinners at my house, and
they do that in
people
France.
come in and have that communal feel. But they're doing
it already.
Wife, whatever.
How much they charge for it?
And just minimal fees. Minimal fee. Just enough to cover and that's it.
They had a woman in France who had a shop. I can't remember her name. And she had a small Parisian apartment with a small kitchen. And what she would do is, people loved her cooking. So she would have a couple up there at a prefixed price, and she would fix dinner for them in her kitchen, bring it out to her small dining room. They sit there in a very intimate setting. And she could talk to them if they wanted to talk to her, about how she prepared the food and all that. I said, I'll take that any day.
Absolutely.
Probably a waiting list for that too.
Oh yeah, man.
It probably would be. And you can keep the prices be normal, regular, and much cheaper than a restaurant. And if you wanted more, if you want that communal aspect that restaurants give people, you can have somebody have two or three tables or whatever to have that feeling, and instead of paying $50 for it, you pay $20 for it. So everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, people that like to cook love to have people try their food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
do. I do.
I come over to both y'all's houses. Both y'all make really nice stuff. And if y'all said, look, me, if I was back in Detroit and I'm single and they say, hey man, why don't you come over where I'm having my Kevin, both of y'all are Kevin. So I'm at Kevin's dinner at my house tonight. I'm having one every month, every third Thursday of every month. It's dinner at Kevin's house. Man, I'd be there in 2 seconds.
Well, you remember we used to have the football parties every
That's
Sunday.
true.
I miss those, man.
Those are really nice.
Those were fucking great, man. They were great. It was my
Karen,
house.
Greg, Audrey. Hey, y'all.
Yeah, yeah. And man, Karen was always soul food.
Yep,
You
yep.
know, you always did something very inventive.
I didn't know what I was gonna do.
No, but it was always inventive.
Oh, thank you. I
And
appreciate that.
yeah, it was. And then I always did something. People go, "Oh, that's gourmet," you know. And I said, "Well,
Exactly. I was about to say.
I don't think it's
You're the
gourmet. It's just some
gourmet.
shit I put together, you know."
What do they call that? Everybody brings something.
Potluck.
Potluck.
Potluck. Yeah.
But
One person, Kevin, one person was responsible for the dinner
right.
for that Sunday.
Right.
For all the football games.
We rotate houses.
Okay.
Right. So you were getting a Sunday dinner 3 weeks out of the month from September all the way through December.
I didn't think about that. I never thought about that way, but you're absolutely right. And we're good people. And we're good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have
Really
a
nice.
Super Bowl party somewhere, you know, and people would cook there too. So that's part of the thing I really miss about, everybody kind of splinters off and going in different
we go
directions.
our own ways and
Right.
everybody.
Man, last time I cooked the Super Bowl meal, because I hadn't watched the Super Bowl in years because I was pissed off about that Kaepernick thing. And then I made this.
I don't blame you.
then I made this huge Super Bowl dinner just for the hell of it. And I was the only one eating it. And I cooked, man, it took me damn near 8 hours to prep and everything. Lay everything out, take pictures of it and all that shit, threw it on Facebook. And then when I finished, I ate one plate and I said, man, I gotta put all this shit up, And I had all these damn dishes to wash. You have to wash. Because you're trying to wash dishes as you're cooking. You're trying to wash as you're cooking.
And then you're eating that for 3 or 4 days too.
Oh, easily, man. Easily. but it was, it was fun to do the cooking, but the part that you missed was everybody there.
Yeah, yeah.
Sampling your food, telling you what they thought about it.
You make something that's really nice, and it's just it's twice as good. Somebody else gets a chance to try it. And
Dude, I'll work all day on one like that bolognese, and then Jason will come into the house with some kind of shawarma thing or something. I said, man, I've been cooking on this stuff all day. I said, he goes, I'll eat some later. I go, most of the time I eat it all by myself, the whole thing.
Man,
you need to start inviting each other over to the house. Yeah.
Right. Now, Wendell, do you remember the time you, Jack, and Barbie were over at the house for Super Bowl?
Okay.
And I made this dish, great, using some Mother Stallard beans, something like that. It was a recipe that I came across with chicken thighs and beans on the broth, man, and that shit came out great. It really came out great. Oh, yeah. And so you all really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And then I put something on Facebook, and I said, yeah, I had friends over, and they really enjoyed it. And then Jack wrote a comment. He went, ridiculously good. I never forget that.
That's so nice.
I said, yeah, I never forgot that comment. He said, ridiculously good. I said,
all right. Jack.
Jack just had a birthday. He was born on Juneteenth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good old Jack.
How old is Jack now? Like 36, something like that?
He's up there. Let's see. 30. I think he was born. I feel terrible. I think he's 38.
38
or 39. Might be 39.
Wow.
I remember he helped us move into my house here.
That's right. I remember
that. Was about 2003.
Yeah.
And he was already about 13 then, 12 or 13.
No, he was older than that, wasn't he?
He was older than that then?
I think he was born in 88. So that'll make him 38 now.
38.
But I'm not positive.
Yeah, I got a picture
He's like
of
15
Kai.
then. But you're right.
I got
He
a picture of
was
Kai holding Jack up as a baby. And I think Kai was about 11 then.
Oh, that's a
Something
great
like that.
picture. That's a great
Yeah,
picture. Kai and Jack. Yeah, that's an excellent picture.
when he was a baby. So yeah, he might be like, and the other thing with that, you bring up birthdays, man. About your mom's birthday,
Yeah.
100th, man. And I saw David's post, and I had to write there, tell him, man, you beat me to it, because I had your mother's 100th birthday in my calendar for months. Man.
That's sweet. That's
Oh
sweet,
yeah,
man.
for months, man. It's your mom, man. Yes, your mother, man. And
100 years old.
but that got me to thinking. I said, damn, we some old dudes, man.
Yeah.
When our parents are turning 100, then we're old.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like my mother's 100th will be in 2029.
29, right.
My father's in 2027. Right? Now, here's the wild part. You go to grandparents. My mother's mom, 1906. That's 120 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my grandfather's, her husband, 1903. But the oldest, I never knew my father's father because he was killed when my father was he was killed by a car. When
I remember that. That's a hell of a story.
Yeah, that was in Christmas Day, I believe.
Christmas Day, Kevin.
Wow.
Christmas, he was coming home from shopping, and the
no.
car went up on.
He was going to work. He was going to Packer.
The car came up over the curb and hit him, right?
And hit him. Yeah, he was going to the plant. Yeah.
Damn, that's messed up.
But my grandmother, Grandma Robinson, this is a trip. She was born in 1896. That's 120 years ago. I mean, 130 years ago.
My grandpa Mark was born in 1896 also.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
Naples, Italy.
Oh, really? Did I tell you? I think I told you all this. My grandfather, my mother's father, Thomas Keeble Rouse, was born in Christiana, Tennessee, this April 19th, 1889. The same week.
1889. Oh yeah, you told me
Hitler and Charlie Chaplin. Hitler was born the day.
And who?
Adolf Hitler was born the day after my grandfather was born, and Charlie Chaplin was born 2 days before my grandfather was born. So I said 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Right. Well, I was gonna say one of those guys gave you a great argument for abortion. Okay?
I know. See, if baby Charlie Chaplin and baby T.K. Rouse had known, they would have gone to Austria and
got his ass.
Baby Hitler in his crib, Take that, you little bastard!
Yeah, man, that's wild, man. that's amazing, man. I remember when 1956 meant you were young,
Absolutely. Yeah, right. Oh, how about when computers came in, they say get date of birth, and you didn't have to scroll that far. Now you got
They just tell you to fill in the blank. They just fill in the blank,
and that's something we remember in all the official forms. These have a 19 and a underline.
Right.
19. Jesus, you got to be.
That's weird too. I'll think of my dad, or my mom, at certain times, and think about how all of a sudden how old they were at that time. And I say, oh my God, they felt so old, but they were like in their early 30s or something at the time, And you go, you go, oh my God, like my dad is 70 now. He seemed so old when he was 70.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
That's what kills me about some people our age. They seem to forget basic things, real things, like you can't tell me you're young. I said, excuse me, but when you were 28, did you really think that nobody should listen to you?
Right.
What the hell are they thinking about? I mean, some people don't really grow; they just age. They all just think about themselves all the time. They don't see anything else. They're stuck on I want to be the center, and wherever they are, that's the center. Period.
You can't tell me nothing.
You can't tell me nothing.
Young folks don't know shit. I met this kid at the yoga class, right? I told him about the show too. I told him, tune in.
Oh, cool.
But he's this young guy, came from Livonia, he's living in the area, the Midtown area. And when you do the yoga, they have this part where Caitlin, the instructor, she'll say, okay, say hello to your neighbor, which, you know me when I'm not big on that kind of shit. Usually I lay there with
he's the
my eyes.
crotchety old guy, man, in the
That's
corner.
right. I lay there with my eyes closed. Just leave me alone.
Is that hot yoga you're doing still?
No, this is outside. This is outside
Okay.
yoga. Yeah. But last week I did it, and it was funny because the young lady looked at me and she said, "Hi." I said, "How you doing?" She goes, I work in Caesar's Market. I went, "Oh shit. Okay, you do. Okay, I remember you."
Oh,
so this guy,
you didn't recognize.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy, he said, "How you doing?" He was nice. Yeah, he's nice enough, man. You know what I mean? Once I melt the bullshit away, then I'm fine.
Exactly.
We started talking after class, man, and it was very interesting. All the things that we talked about, from politics to going to school and debt and all this kind of state of the world. And there was a lot of the conversation was kind of driven by me because I'm telling him a bunch of stories, and he really wanted to hear, like, well, what was it? What was it like back in the 70s? And I'm like, damn, man, is it that bad? But it was a cool conversation, which I would have missed if I had laid down and kept my eyes closed. But
yeah, that's true.
But I know when to open them. That's my excuse. Okay.
I used to like young kids like on the route back in the day. They sometimes
Absolutely.
You'd find one that would would ask you questions about stuff, and you just go on and on telling them, about especially concerts, like old concerts or something. So yeah, I seen Pink Floyd, when they do Dark Side of the Moon. They go, what? I remember the one dude, he had the Dark Side of the Moon T-shirt on, but he's like about 20 years old, and so he was all excited about it. So I had to tell him all about it. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kev, 2000, I think it was 2008. I saw the band Tool at the Palace of Auburn Hills, and I went there, by myself, and I've seen Tool 3 times, but I'm sitting there, and it was all these young white kids from the University of Wisconsin, because Michigan was playing Wisconsin the next day in football.
Oh, okay.
At the big house, so they were all there. So it was so funny because, at that point, I'm in my 50s, and they kept looking at me, and I said, "Oh man, I know that feeling. I used to happen to me at Kobo all the time. If they ask me for drugs, I'm gonna slap the hell out of one of these." And they looked, and I looked at them. I said, "All right." I said, "Out with it." And they said, "What?" I said, Go ahead, ask me. Go ahead. What's the old black guy doing at a Tool concert?" They started laughing, right? And I said, "Oh man, well, that's cool. We think it's cool." I said, "Yeah, man, but don't get it twisted now. 30 years from now, hopefully you never grow out of seeing bands like this and supporting different bands." I said, "Well, who did you see?" I said, "I saw Deep Purple, yes. Peter Gabriel. Oh, that's nice." And then as soon as you hit him with the money shot, I said, "Yeah, man, I saw Led Zeppelin." Man, it was like Grandpa Kevin is his little grandkids sitting around the fire telling him about they want to hear, what was the concert like? Yeah. Where were you at? How much money did you pay? $3.50. What? $3.50? That's my favorite concert story. It's my Al Bundy concert story, right? But it was so cool to sit there to talk with them, and everything. And they were like, "Man, you're lucky." I said, "Well, everybody's lucky." I said, "I was jealous of my brother. He was only 5-6 years older than me, and he saw Jimi Hendrix in a club." Okay. There you go. I said, "I've never had that experience."
There you go. Mm-hmm. That's so true. Yeah. All of your brothers' age, all the Motown artists, they saw them there playing in little clubs, like the 20 grand. For next to nothing.
Yep. Oh yeah, man.
But you didn't finish your story about the guy at the yoga.
No, it's just I was just saying it was a really just good conversation.
Oh, okay.
With somebody, and where you can share stories, and you can tell he was really all in on listening, like, wow, man, so what was this like? What was that like? And I'll tell him, I said, "Look, man, somebody showed me stuff too. That's what people got to understand. Some people show, and I was in awe of some people when they told me, like the one time Reggie, me and Reggie was hanging tough. And Reggie said, "Man, you got to meet my friend, man. This dude done seen everybody, Kevin." I said, "All right, man." So we met him. It's a brother, husky brother, a cashmere coat with a jerry curl. So this is in the 80s, right? And he so he says like he said, ask him anything, Kevin, ask him anything. I said, all right, man, I'll start you off easy. You ever seen Miles Davis? The guy almost looked at me like I insulted him, you know. He said, so, yeah, I seen Miles Davis. I said, well, Sonny Stitt. He goes, yeah, man, I've seen Stitt several times. I said, well, what about Dexter Gordon? He said, I've seen Dexter Gordon with Wardell Gray. I said, shit. He said, look, man, here's the deal. He said, in the 50s, okay, I had a good job. These guys were playing, and I was living in New York. These guys were playing down the street every week.
Exactly.
Every week. And you get in there for $2.
I was just about to say $2.
Right. For $2. And I could see Sonny Rollins for $2 and talk to him if he was taking a smoke break outside.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that started to show me that when you see somebody like, I'll take Samantha Fish as an example, who's kind of blowing up good right now. I saw Samantha Fish at Callahans, a little club, where you can walk up to her afterwards and get your album, and she'll say, what's your name? I want to personalize it for you, and all this. But the bigger she gets, the further away she gets, the further away you sit from her, because unless you get a front row seat.
The more you pay.
More you pay.
The more you pay, and you may not be able to meet her. No, I'm not putting her down.
No, not at all.
She's worked her butt off to get to the status. That's what I tell people. If you can see folks in clubs, don't put it off. Get your ass in there.
See them right now. And it's good for everybody. That's what you said earlier. You said everybody's lucky because like the best time, worst of times, the Tale of Two Cities first opening line. That's true with everything. It's somebody's having the time they call the good old days right now. Everybody's having somebody. I mean, every time is good old days for somebody. And it's as simple as that. You just gotta look around and do. I used to love it when little kids, like you talking about on your route. I used to love when little kids would ask me questions like anything about stuff I knew about, because I always saw that little kid in me. Because I was like that. I was that little kid too. I remember our mailman was E.C. Edwards, and I still remember that. And I talked to one of the old guys when in my first union meeting. When I got the job at NLC, National Association of Letter Carriers meeting, and I met this guy named Mr. Mathis. Mr. Mathis was really old. I mean, he was really old. And this is like he was old. This is 1985. He was old, so it was 1985. So
he was still wearing sandals when he was delivering the mail.
What do you say?
He was wearing sandals when he was delivering the mail. That's how old he was.
Right. Or his first job was with Pony Express, stuff like that.
But I talked to Mr. Mathis. I said, I know this is a shot in the dark, but did you know a fellow by the name of Thomas Rouse? When he was a carrier out of 35th Street Station. He goes, TK? I said, yeah, that's my grandfather.
Whoa.
He's still around. No, he's been dead for some time, but that he knew my grandfather. But I used to love to ask old people and even young people about what was their life like, because somewhere along the line I learned to be curious, and this is always a thrill to me that I grew into the person that now little kids would be asking me. It's an honor. Honor.
I mean, I told this is decades ago, but I remember I was talking to somebody young, and they said, man, you've had a lot of experiences and everything, I don't know if I can even top what you talk. I said, it's not about topping it. I said, it's never about topping anything. Yeah. I said, what it is, man, you got one thing that you know about that I don't know about. He goes, what? I said, yourself. You got yourself. I don't know you. I don't know what you've been through, man. So my experiences are my experiences. They're not your experiences. Now you got some experiences you should be able to tell me about. And if I'm talking about music, and really, and I'll use Taylor Swift as the whipping post. If I'm sitting here talking about, Led Zeppelin and Rush and all these bands that I've seen, and then you say, man, the other day though, man, I saw Taylor Swift. I'm gonna look at you and say, how was it? Did you have fun? Not that. Man, I don't listen to her.
Yeah.
What the hell is
that?
Yeah, right. I don't listen to that garbage.
Number one dad.
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous. But I'll tell you one thing though, when Taylor Swift played Detroit, okay, she played twice at Ford Field, and she sold it out both times. She gave her road crew $100,000 bonuses for
And he
each
was
week.
there. He was there.
Okay,
That guy
well,
right there, Jason.
It's Jason.
Hey, Jason.
That's my son, Jason.
oh hey
He,
Jason, what's up, man?
he was the security guard at them concerts.
Oh, nice. Now you know what's funny about her though that I said, man, I gotta really respect that. They said that,
$100,000.
but she played for 3 hours and 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They said she did something like 45 songs, 90% of which were in their entirety.
Okay.
I said, now look, is it worth me paying $1,500 to see Peter Gabriel do that? No, it's not. It's just not, that doesn't have the value for me. But I'm sure that the people there were like, damn, she played for 3 hours, 15. A lot of bands that have been out of there in an hour.
Yeah.
And act like they're doing you a favor.
Mm-hmm.
They spend more time chasing groupies and
And I know.
going back and doing whatever, than putting on a show.
And she dancing and singing and everything too at the same time, every night. Wow.
Yeah. We got a bunch of people. Yeah.
She paid the security staff. Who
No,
she paid?
not security. Her, I don't know if it was security. It was her road crew.
Her road crew. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Gave
a lot
them,
of money,
they've been traveling. They're probably getting paid good anyway.
Yeah.
But they're working their asses off setting up that show because she has a pretty extravagant show. But but she, she's a billionaire. She makes a shit ton of money. But $100,000 is some life-changing cash.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right. You ain't bullshit. Hey, Kevin Thompson, what Jason had to keep looking face out the whole way though, right?
I don't know what. Oh, yeah. Facing the crowd. And it was hilarious, he said, because she was dancing like right in front of him. He was right in front of the stage. And she was like wiggling her ass and like behind his head while she was dancing like that. And because he could see it up in the camera, they had all the cameras on and shit like that. Right. But he couldn't turn around and do nothing about it. He just had to stand there, and everybody was, checking him out and stuff like that. It was hilarious. He got backstage for that too. They put him backstage and he was hanging out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was cool. He liked it. He had a good time, he says. He was working. Yeah, he was working for Ford Field though.
Working for right.
Yeah.
A friend of mine used to work with her. Good old Felicia Hatcher. You may know Felicia Hatcher. She went to Cass.
The name sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, she was in performing arts, but Felicia used to work with me and Floyd at Focus Hope. And so a few years ago, like 2017, I think, she still does what we call audiovisual. She still selects equipment. Man, this woman is phenomenal. She really is. That's a very labor-intensive job. She does. And I remember she put something on Facebook and she says, because she talked about, I'm going to be working the Pistons game. I'm going to work the Red Wings. And she said, I'm going to be working a U2 concert at Ford Field. And I said, look, I gave her a reply. I said, lucky you. I said, I've never seen that band. And then she says, she calls me boss, she says, hey, boss, you want a ticket? And I was like, yeah. She goes, how many? I said, just one. I'm not greedy, just one. And I had it on like the first tier, dead center, and it's in Ford Field. So, man, I was like a 16-year-old kid again. Okay, I'm in there, man. I made sure I used the bathroom before I sat down. now that's out of necessity. But
Absolutely.
Then I got my merch, got me something to drink, sat down, enjoyed the hell out the show. I think she was doing the lights for Adam Clayton, the bass player.
Okay.
Right. And so afterwards, the next day, I wrote some on Facebook thanking her for that. And I remember I finished it. I said, I owe you one. And then she replied, no, you don't, boss. You believed in me.
All right.
Man, that meant a lot, man. That really meant a lot. Yeah, it is, man.
That reminds me of a friend of mine on my route. I completely forgot about him. He lives at 675 Seward. His name was Vince Maxwell. Vinny Maxwell. He was a light man. I hope he's still alive and well. Really nice man. But he was a light guy. He did the lights at several places around Detroit, and he was talking about. I completely when you said that reminded me. It got me thinking about when he was talking about because he had to do the lights for a Michael Jackson show, and he was here at was it the Silver Dome or was it at wherever it was? He was working the lights for that. And so I said, what was Michael Jackson like? He said he didn't talk much, but he knew exactly what he wanted to do and just said every way what he wanted to do, and that was it. But he saw a lot of great shows, rock, soul, jazz, pop, all kinds of shows, and he had the best seat in the house. He was putting the lights on them.
Well,
That's a
you
wonderful
remember
thing.
one of the sought after jobs when we were teenagers was being an usher at Cobo Arena.
I remember one lady got that job. I remember
Yeah.
Remember Sharon Jones?
Vaguely, yeah.
She was a usher at Masonic Temple, and the highest I ever was in my whole life. Cause I never got high, as you know, I never did drugs, but this one night I did. I really did, and it was and Sharon Jones luckily was there, and she walked me around in intermission. Me and Reggie, good old Reggie Henry, and I remember thinking, man, I hope I come down before Joe Walsh comes on because I want to appreciate it. I never got high. I never did drugs. And so, but she was really nice. She walked me around and everything. And then by the time, but I enjoyed the show. I remember I did enjoy this show.
You didn't get all paranoid and everything, though?
What's this now?
You didn't get all paranoid?
It was a different kind of high.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you about that in itself is a story. I'll tell you one thing over lunch or something. It's a funny story. It could have been terrible, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Man, I remember I was at a show at Cobo, and I guess I didn't know the etiquette of people that smoke weed because I never did, right? So I'm sitting in this row, and show's going on, and cats are smoking weed all over the damn place. And this guy starts passing it down. And he got to me, he went, he put it up like this. You want it? And I went, no. So he sent it back the same way it came. And this dude next to me, he nudged me. He said, "Hey man." I said, what? He said, look, you don't smoke, do you? I said, no. He said, "Oh man, look, next time."
Just grab it and pass it, keep passing it down the line.
I said, well, look, I'm not gonna grab it. I said, I'm not gonna grab it because with my luck, that's when the cop will come in and grab some weed. So when the thing would come down and the guy went, "You want some?" And I go, like that. And he handed it across his body, and the guy went, "Now you got it." I
there
said,
you go. There you go. Absolutely.
Fun times, man. Fun times, boy.
I could see that guy's face.
Like what?
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, man."
Next to the only guy that won't pass it. That was cool. They explained it to you, though. That was cool.
Oh yeah. I was a teenager. You remember when we met Charlie Canal before the Alice Cooper concert?
Yeah.
It was April '74, and he was shocked that I knew who he was.
Yeah, right. You actually told that story on this show.
Yeah. And that was, and I think he's still around.
Yep. Yes, you were saying, yeah.
I think he's still around.
Something on Facebook or something, yeah.
Yeah, he's still around, man. I was like, damn, boy.
He might have old. We were young as old. Old as hell.
Well, yeah. Alice Cooper is what, like damn near 80 now.
Yeah, I think if he's not 80, he should be.
1947. I think he's born 1947.
Okay.
So he'll be 80 next year, man. Billy D. Williams, damn near 90, man.
Billy D. Oh, by the way, I saw his very first movie is called The Last Angry Man, and he was it starred Paul Muni, and
Paul Muni must have been old then.
Paul Muni I think it was Paul Muni's last movie, and Billy D. Williams' first. Wow. I think it came out in 1960, if I'm not mistaken. Billy D. Williams.
Paul Muni, I steal.
Yeah.
He was considered like, Laurence Olivier or something back in.
He was a great stage actor, but those guys didn't know that period
Right.
between like the late 20s when talkies first came out to the mid 30s. They were just learning how to, wait a minute, we don't have to do this anymore, okay? They
Right.
can hear you and they see you right here. You
And they
don't
can
have to
see
do
you.
this
Right.
anymore.
You go.
But they had to learn it. They had to learn it, you know.
Right. Yeah, and quit all the extra vowels in your words, you know. Just say I steal.
And the
Not
mic is
I
right there. You don't have
steal.
to
I
project
steal. Yeah,
anymore.
right. It's like Jesus, man, you know. Come on, Paul.
You're
Calm
all,
down.
you're a mute. You're muted, Kevin Thompson.
There
Yeah,
we
you're
go.
muted. Now you go.
I,
Now you. Now you.
I know I've been talking and nobody even answered me, but I've been
What'd you
talking about
say?
all kinds. I forgot now. Keep going.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
that's what happened. Okay, because I thought I saw you going like, I thought you just kidding around. You do it again. You know, you're always just messing around.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. Okay.
I don't know how
Man,
that happened.
Oh, I got a story for y'all.
Yeah.
That my little brother. Can y'all see that?
Yeah. KKK targeted Willow Run school principal.
This is in 1971 when all of us were 15.
Yeah.
And this guy was the principal of the Willow Run school, and he got stopped in the middle of the night on the roadside by three Klansmen in black robes. They put a shotgun to his ear, they poured tar all over him and took his keys out of his car. But luckily, he had a spare key in his glove compartment and drove home, got all the stuff off, and went to school the next day. And what the deal was, these Klansmen didn't like him because they had a lot of racial tension and a lot of fights going on in the school, and he was always trying to quell it and get the kids together. He said most of the kids liked him, but there was like a handful, like always, of like, you know, rabbit sons of bitches that were starting us. Long story short, the guy that held him up and tarred and feathered him and all stuff, he went on to go to jail for 6 years for that and another assault he made. So that was good news. And another good news was the principal, that my little brother's article here, he went on to live a good life, and he was stayed very like his widow said, he always fought for what he thought was the right thing, and a man of honor. That's how I call people, man of honor, a woman of honor, person of honor. And he died in 2004 at the age of 75. So
okay.
I saw this. I like to put one of my brother's articles and put it in every show. So I thought it was very interesting.
Well, yeah, and it shows you what cowards these other guys are. You know,
Yeah.
Three guys with a gun, and
In the
you're
middle
so
of the
brave.
night.
You know, you're so brave, man. You're a really brave guy. You know, they're cowards, man. You
Absolute
know,
cowards.
that's what they are. And you pull the same shit
And
on them, they crap themselves.
And they're probably the parents saw the kids that were the bullies in the schools. You know, they were starting this shit. You know,
I was thinking exactly the same thing, Kevin. Yeah. It's probably their kids that were the ones doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they got in trouble for it, probably, you know, for starting fights and shit.
Yeah.
You know,
it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous, man.
I remember Miss Owens on my route, and she was in the Sojourner Truth. She was the member of the first people in Sojourner Truth Project. You saw it in the movie, right? And y'all saw it. But Miss Owens, she was the landlady at 675 Seward, but she was also born in 1926, same year as my mom. And she was amongst the first people that first opened the Sojourner Truth Projects. And they moved them in. And she's talked to good stories. She had lots of stories to talk about that and going to Pershing High School and stuff like that. She said the thing about going to Pershing, because when they moved over there, she started going to Pershing, that she said it was a almost all white school except for the black kids from the Sojourner Truth Projects. That was it, the only integration. She said we didn't have any problem with the other kids. She said I never had any problem with other kids. I never had any problem with the teachers. Only problem I had was with parents.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and dad went to Pershing then. They were born in 30.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she must went there right before they did then.
Right before they did. Yep,
Yeah.
right before they did. And my brother started going to purging in what, 65, 66, 67,
Yeah. Well,
67.
Eric graduated in 66.
So he's right before my brother.
And then Gennard graduated in 67, I want to say. Well, let me see. Eric was born funny. Maybe Eric was 67 and then Gennard was 68. Because Eric was 18, Gennard was 17 when he graduated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Wow. No, it's a true. And you know, when you tell me stuff like that, the only kids that went there were the kids from the Sojourner Truth projects. I know the route that I had to walk to get to Pershing. You know, and at that point, I was walking through a neighborhood that was maybe 60-40 black at that point. But when she's walking through there, they're all white. You know, they're damn near all white. You know, so it's like, wow, you didn't have any problems. That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, except for the parents.
Except for the parents. But you still had to walk through the neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to get there and through the neighborhood to get back, you know. And that's what's funny, because a lot of times the kids don't, and that's why you hope your kids are always a little bit better than you.
Absolutely.
They don't take on your, you know, if you have a bad habit, they don't take that on, and that they challenge you with it. And they always try to be a little bit better than you were, and hopefully anybody that's offspring of theirs would be better than they were.
I thank my mother again for that. She had a lot of things that she held anger, but she didn't want me to have that anger. She wanted me to use my sense to propel the world into a better place than just as far as she could go on.
Well, we had good parents, man. We had great parents, and you know, your mother was always quiet to me, especially when I first met her as a kid. You know, and she would come home from work, you know, and I knew a hard-working person when I saw it. I grew up around her, you know. But your mom, she was always polite, you know, and as silly as I was, and silly as you still are, but she never, like looked at you in disgust. Never looked at me in disgust. None of that stuff. You know. Now the difference between Miss Woods and my mother is that when one of them come over my house and act silly, my mother be cracking up laughing.
Right.
Because she thought
very expressive, very down to earth.
Wendell, your mother just thought you guys were silly.
Yeah, we were actually
you're being silly.
Yeah. Well, you remember the famous.
But Kevin was always polite too, though. Kevin's very polite. He's gregarious, but he's polite and he's gregarious.
Oh yeah. But the famous story I love to tell about when I discovered the song "2-Day Muller" by Alice Cooper. It's a minute and 18 seconds, I believe, of sheer hilarity. It's such a bad song.
Yeah,
it's so terrible.
It's on YouTube, y'all.
Right. And I'm over at the house, Miss Wood's house, and I keep listening to, because only a minute 18, and I'm just laughing, man. I'm on the floor just laughing. And Miss Woods walked by and she goes, Kevin. I said, yeah. She goes, what? Why are you laughing so much? I said, this song, Miss Woods, is so stupid. She goes, why do you keep listening to it? And I said, because it's funny. And she just looked at me and went, Kevin, you're so silly. And walked away. And that was there's no insult, nothing. It was a statement of fact. That was silly. You know, that was silly shit. Now, you know, Kevin, I did win her over though later. We were all over there playing games. And Miss Woods was in the living room. You know, she's on the couch. And, you know, we're all there talking, cracking bad jokes and all that. And I said, I started doing the Leon Spinks imitation. You know, and a very bad one at that. You know, I'm Leon Spinks. I'm Leon Spinks. You know, right? and I hear this, not so much laughter, but this. I said, wait a minute. I got up, walked over there, and Miss Woods had her hand over her mouth like this. And I said, are you laughing at one of my jokes, Miss Woods? And then she looked up at me and she went, Kevin, you're so silly. That was it. But we had people, they tolerated us and they didn't try to, put you down or nothing like that.
I
Yeah.
never, never that was just, yeah.
I
That's
just remember Teddy's mom always calling us a bunch of lazy bums.
Was she doing seriously or funny?
Funny. She was always, you all a bunch of lazy bums. You guys don't, we're going to hang out somewhere, we ain't doing nothing. You're all lazy bums. She was funny. Yeah.
That's a term you don't hear much. Somebody calls somebody a lazy bum.
Most of the kids I knew that I got to know a little bit, their parents were cool, and because I guess it's kind of like it kind of follows the people that you like. They generally have parents that molded them a certain way to make you like them, right? And they're that kind of person generally. I knew a couple of parents that were not too cool, but by and large, my friends' parents were nice people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And we knew some parents that they had issues,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Certain parents had issues, but they were never, and we knew, I knew plenty of them. I have some personal experience with it, but they were never mean to other kids.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. You see a guy that he might be having some problems. He lost his job. He's drinking too much, but it's always, hey, Mr. So-and-so, hey, how you doing, boy? I'm good. And it was that, it's nothing ever. Yeah. Yeah. But I knew a couple of parents that were out cold crazy. They were stone cold.
I about to say, I knew a couple like that.
Yeah.
I knew a couple when I was paper boy for my route was from Bayless from Puritan down to Finkel. And there was a couple of, and I think back now, I think they're even worse than I thought they were because, and I mean literally a couple that would try to cheat a little kid, and use their big manly stuff to cheat a little kid. So what kind of low down stuff is that? But again, like I said, there was 100 some odd people and only 2 assholes. The
one I remember was on Miller Street delivering the mail. And I could hear the music from Barney going, I love you, you love me. Then all of a sudden I heard this lady scream out, I'm going to kill that motherfucking Barney. You better turn that shit off. I mean, she's just screaming at some little kid like that. I go, oh my God. It was hilarious though, man. It was funny.
I hope they survived survived.
Yeah. I know. Shit, and just think how little that kid was listening to Barney,
I know. I know.
Man. Kev, when I first moved over here back in '93, man, these kids down the street, they held a party. So this van pulls up. They parked right across the street from me, and this old white lady gets out. I said, okay, this is interesting. What she doing here? She gets out, she opens up the back, and out steps Barney. Okay. Big purple uniform, So Barney goes down the street, and you can hear the kids, they're squealing. They're having a good time, right? And I'm kind of smiling. So after a while, I guess Barney took a break. And he comes back to the van. He opens up the back doors to the van. He kind of sits on the van, tilts his head back a little bit, and starts smoking a cigarette. I said, damn, Barney smokes? I didn't know that. And then he put his foot up on the bumper and he had a tether on. I said, Barney's doing community service. I said, okay. I said, damn, Barney done fell from grace.
I hope it wasn't for child molestation or something.
I hope not. Yeah, man, it was funny though, boy. I was like, damn, man, Barney got a tether and he smokes. Okay.
Smoking Barney.
Yeah.
The red lights on, right, Kevin?
Who, me?
Either one of y'all. Red lights on?
No, I don't have a red light.
But it said you were recording in the beginning.
Okay.
We wouldn't see a red light.
Panic attack.
It's beeping, yeah.
Huh?
It's going off and on. The red light. Record, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because man, I want to kick my own ass if I did that again.
Oh, Arthur Lee. You got the Arthur Lee Love shirt on.
Yeah.
Huh? Bad boy. Bad band. Great band. Mm-hmm. You got me into Arthur Lee and Love,
Me too. I never heard of them before. To Wendell.
Yeah. Wendell was
Yeah.
nuts about them, man. He was staying on Brighton. He used to
That's
play them
right. I
all the
love it.
time.
Who turned me on to Arthur Lee in Love was James Booth. This is back
Oh man,
in '74.
a
And
great
Arthur
move. Yeah.
and Love had already broken up, but then they got back to, well, he got a new Love later, but they put out one out. But the ones that the great the Love band was from '65 to 60 to 71 or so. Anyway, but he turned me on to them, and I said, I'd known a little bit about, I knew a lot about a lot of groups, but you know how it is. The more you get into things, the more you realize, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
However groups you know, the more you find out, it's like, you'll never find out. Anyway,
No.
he started playing some stuff from Arthur, the Love's Greatest Hits album, and from Forever Changes album. I said, this is great, man. How come I never heard this before? Because they didn't play it on the rock stations at the time. It was too recent to be an oldie and too old to be current, right? So he turned me, I said, man, these guys are bad. This is just great music. But I found out, and Kevin Robinson from Facebook. Damn, there's a whole lot of psychedelic groups that were bad as hell. I never heard of them at all, man. And I know a lot of groups, but I never heard of them. Same thing with soul groups. I thought I knew everything. I know these were obscure ass groups like I'm Still Here. The Notations, Philadelphia. But it's like, who are these people? God damn.
Well, when I
There's so
posted
many more
those
people that we know.
Yeah, when I posted those garage rock bands a few weeks back.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Now, the other day I was sitting down at Simply Roasted. I'll give them a shout out. A great, great small place to get something to eat in Midtown. I was sitting there and I was playing music on my phone. I didn't have an earplug, but nobody was out there, so it wasn't that loud. I'm playing this. And this young woman, she sat at a chair at the next table. And I'm just playing it. And then when I was getting ready to leave, and she said, "Excuse me." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What was that you were playing?" And I told her, I said, "Oh, yeah, that's from so-and-so, And he said, "Wow." I said, "Do you know when that was made?" She goes, "What?" I said, 1966. And she goes, "Wow," And then she introduced her friends. The two friends walked up. "These are my friends." She goes, "We were all in like performing arts, whatever, And she was going to Berkeley. She's going to Berkeley. Her friend was going to NYU. And I believe her third friend was going to some place in Cleveland, highfalutin. Then they all went to Interlochen here in Michigan.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Right. And so we're talking, she goes, "Wow," because I'm a songwriter. And she says, "Well, here, let me put it into my phone." So I gave her the names of these three bands, right? And then when I finished, I said, "Now let me let you in on another secret." She goes, "Well," I said, "I'm 70 years old." She goes, "Okay." I said, "I had never heard of these guys until a couple weeks ago." I said, so I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I've known about these guys. I said, "I have never heard this on the radio." I said, "I've never," and I used to listen to a ton of radio.
That's right.
I said, "So that's why you got to keep your mind open
all the time.
Just keep it. You've been surprised at what you don't know. More than what you know is what you don't know, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That's true with everything. It's a lesson to be learned. Is all this
dig deeper.
Dig deeper all the time, because I think some people, and it's all right to be complacent and say, "Well, okay, I know enough. This is fine." But what's wrong is a lot of times people have they reach that point in their life, whether they're 20 years old or 50 or 70. They reach that point in their life where they think, "Well, I know enough now," and they fight against any other knowledge. Because that means they don't have 100% anymore. They keep letting more knowledge in. They're not doing 100% anymore. So anything that's not in the thing that they're already happy with themselves with, then they I don't want to hear that. I don't need to hear that. I don't want to hear that. What are you young people doing? How are you old people doing?
Maybe they can't handle anymore.
Enough said.
Yeah.
They're full up.
They're full up, but they're angry. But they're angry about it because they want. So everything outside of full up is either inconsequential or something.
It's the devil.
Yeah. But Wendell, it's just like when people have these dumbass arguments over who's the goat of this, who's the best of that. It makes no sense. It's
No
just,
sense.
and I always tell people, who you think was the best? I said, I don't. I don't think of who's the best. I
I'll
think
give
of who
credit.
my favorite. I have favorites,
There you go.
but it's not.
Oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll give credit to Michael Jordan, who I do not like at all. But I'll give him credit for this because I don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Anybody can say something good or bad. You know, Michael Jordan said the same thing what you just said. This is like around 20 years ago. And he said the same thing you just said, and he was absolutely right. You know?
Right. Now, there's this guitarist. I'm probably a crucify his name, but I think it was Guthrie Govan, Govan. He's a guitarist, and he's damn good. He's a damn good guitar. One of these guys I'd never heard of. And I started, going on YouTube, and I said, man, this cat's bad. He's tough. Well, they were interviewing him, and I guess the questioning, like, he says, well, who are some of the guitarists that you like? So he's, probably spit. No, I'm not saying he said that, but like, oh, I like Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page and Alan Holdsworth or whoever. They said, what guitarists that you don't like? He said, I never talk bad about other musicians. I said, man, this guy just shot up in my book already. Already. I said, now I got to go find some of his stuff and buy it. I don't give a damn if I like it or not.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I said that he said, I said, thank you very much for that.
That's a messed up question though too. Who don't you like?
Who would ask that question?
You're trying to start some shit, Yeah.
Well, he should have looked at the interview and said, yo ass. No, man. Yeah, man. But anyway, he's bad though, man. He can play, man. He can play and I mean, we can go off in rabbit holes on a lot of this stuff on how people, they'll look at somebody like they got this woman, I forget her last. I think it's like Abreu, something like that. But she kind of reminds me of Wednesday Addams, and she looks very young, but she's like 31, right? Right. But she looks young, and she does all these things like she'll cosplay and she'll start dancing all wild and shit. It is hilarious, man. I like her. I follow her. She was doing some pull-ups. Some Marines had something set up, and they said, we want to do some pull-ups, and she goes, yeah. So they put her up on the bar. She grabs the bar overhanded, which is tougher. Then she takes her legs, instead of letting them hang, she brought them up, so perpendicular. And she does like 11, 12 of those. And I said, damn. I said, this woman is strong, right? But you look at the comments, well, it's easier to do when you only weigh that much. I said, okay, all right. Okay.
Whoever said that has never done them.
Yeah, they can't do them.
Never done them, and they're a miserable fucking human being on top of it. Okay, they're just miserable.
I can't do them, but I wouldn't say anything like that.
Exactly. Why would you even? And why would you say something like that? You got to figure some way to be smart or mean. All about everything. Yeah.
She only did 12 of them. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Those are the kind of people that you wish you could be there, and they say something like, so you can light their asses up, man.
Wait a minute. Or just look at them. Go.
What's wrong with you? There was a comedy sketch where somebody was bringing. I forgot who it was. They bring around somebody like The Rock or Andre the Giant, some big guy, right? And they're bringing them around to people. They didn't really do this. It's a sketch, right? They brought around to somebody's house. It was a British show, but that's not important. Anyway, they knock on the door. This is the whole sketch. He's knocked on the door. He goes, hello. He goes, are you Jerome so-and-so or so-and-so? You see this before? Yeah. He goes, yeah. Did you say something online about something about the mother or something? He goes, yeah. And then the big guy goes, say something as if somebody around you could reply to it at all times. Be a person, not be a jerk.
Wendell, I know you remember this, man. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we were, I believe, at Dunham's in Fairlane Mall. Your brother David was with us.
Oh, way back.
Yeah, so David was big into the bodybuilding. He was a big bodybuilding fan. And Franco Colombo.
Oh, I remember Franco Colombo.
Right. He was at Dunham's, right?
I thought that was at Southfield. I mean, at Northland.
Well, it's at a mall. Let's put it
Okay,
that way.
right. Okay.
Right. It was at a mall. I thought it was fair, but it don't matter.
You might be right. I don't know. Go ahead.
Right. But Franco Colombo was there,
Mm-hmm.
and he was short. You know, he's only like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah.
But he was huge. You know,
Massive, unbelievable.
so he gets down and he has like 220 pounds, and he lays down on the bench and gives him the weight, and he just pumps it, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
does like 12 reps or something, puts it back. It was this guy in the back, and he says, that ain't nothing. And it was like, and we were all looking at him. Now, this dude was in good shape. I give him that. He was young. You can tell he lifted a few weights. And so Columbus like, what do you mean? He says, that just looks easy. He says, well, it may look easy because I've done it so many times. I really built up to this. He said, anybody can do that. He says, can you? Now, I'm shocked that he did this because there could be some liabilities involved here. And he said, oh, wait, do you want to try? And the guy says, yeah. He said, okay, come on. Now, you can tell that, the man, he had on short sleeve shirt. He had some muscles and shit, okay. He lays down. He grabs it. So Columbo's in back of him. He's going to spot him, right? Because he ain't crazy. He said, I'll spot this guy. The guy took the weight. He said, you ready? 225. You can do it. He said, I can do it. He said, okay, here. He went. First one went up. And the second one, oh shit.
Arms start shaking.
And then the third one, you know how your arms start doing a chicken wing thing like this?
Yeah.
And then the weight started going this way. Colombo grabbed it and he put it back down. And the guy got up, he was embarrassed as hell. But Colombo didn't rag on him.
No.
He says, look, man, you're in real good shape. But for what we do, it's a little different. We're pros at this. This is different from what you're doing casually. So for your group, yeah, you're in great shape, man. Yeah. For us, no. It's like, why would he? But see, at least he had the guts to say that bullshit in front of the guy he was talking to.
Right.
Yeah.
That mentality is so weird, though, because and this is a slightly different thing, but the same kind of thing. It's because people think that the whole world is inside their own head and nothing else. It's like, oh, okay, I remember this guy I was talking about. He was an alleged comedian. He really wasn't funny at all, but he was talking about how he went. He said, "Don't you hate it when you go into a doctor's office and they got all these diplomas around trying to make you feel bad?" I'm thinking, like, who walks into a doctor's office, sees the diploma and thinks that they put up there to make you feel bad? That would never cross my mind. But in his little thinking world,
right,
it's all about him. So if somebody says, hey, my son did this or something like that, oh, he's always bragging about his son. But that's how they look at the world. The whole world is an attack on them or trying to show them up or something. It's like, no, brother, take it easy. Relax. It's not about you. They put those up there to one, because they're proud of themselves, and two, to let you know that they're qualified to take your body apart or whatever they're going to do.
Right.
So
right.
Don't get your panties in a twist. It's not about you. They're not trying to show off. Okay.
Well, when I was working at Hollingsworth, I remember I was talking to a couple workers, and I had opened up the desk drawer and he went, what's all that you got in there? I said, oh, this is a bunch of plaques and stuff that, He said, well, let's see them. I said, okay. And there's a whole bunch of stuff from my time in media, a bunch of awards that we had won as a group or me as a producer. And he said, why don't you put all those up on the wall? He says, because I work in manufacturing, man. I don't do this anymore. And even when I did do this, I didn't put these up on the wall. I'm just not like that. I said, no, I'm in manufacturing. What the hell? You need to know that I won a Telly Award in 1992. Who cares? I mean, if I can win Supplier of the Year, yeah, that's different.
But if you were proud of that, still, you were just proud that you want people to know that, you would be putting up because you were proud of it, not to try to put them down.
Yeah, right. But a lot of them were shocked though, because they hear that you were a producer and Focus Home. I said, well, we were very good. It's not that we were a ragtag group, man. Do
you have any of those left in your old films?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I probably have a few. The basement flooded, so they might have gotten destroyed. But they got one on YouTube. I think it's From High School to High Tech. Are we ready? I did that one in '92.
Okay, I'll look that up.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, you've seen it before. You just don't remember it. But you've seen it before.
I know. Our son was Kai one or just William?
Oh, that was Food, Glorious Food.
Glorious Food. William was so cute. He was around.
What was that? He was in it?
Yeah, it was a short film that Gila Kimbrough did that.
Gila did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Gila Kimbrough was, and I was the manager of the department, but she had this great idea about using this song. I think it was from, I don't know, was it from
Oliver?
Oliver. Okay, yeah, Oliver. And she said, yeah, Kevin, I said, Gila, that's a great idea. And I said, what do you need? She said, I need a kid, like a little boy. I said, I got one for you. I said, look no further. I said, William. Yeah, and William was so funny. I always remember him tiptoeing.
Right.
How old was he?
Oh,
Two?
shit.
2 or 3? 3?
Oh, wow.
3.
Okay.
3, about 3.
And let me see. Now, I started at Focus Hope in 1983.
Oh, he was way older than that then. He must have been 5
I think William was maybe about 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He was taking direction by that time. Okay, yeah.
Right. Somewhat. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, right. You're right. But look here, we're gonna have to wrap it up. We're gonna have to wrap it up. But
your story.
Your yard's looking better and better. What do you say, Kevin?
He was telling you a story. Kevin was telling you a story about William.
Oh, but no, yeah. No, William was in the. Yeah, he was just in this little vignette. Yeah, we used to show him at the food centers.
Oh,
okay.
And we shot it over at Tony Battani's house. Remember Battani, Wendell?
Yes.
Yeah. We shot that over here. I saw Tony maybe like 3-4 years ago. And he looks the same. He's just irascible.
You still got the fro? You got the fro?
Yeah, he's real curly, yeah. And I remember we were talking, we hadn't seen each other in years. He said, you know, Kevin? He said, when I think back on those days at Focus Hope, he said, man, we were good. I said, yes, we were, man. I said, we were. And Tony got me that job.
Okay.
Tony's the one that turned me on to that job. And then when they offered me to be the manager when Carl left, I said, I gotta talk. Let me talk to Tony. And I went to Tony. I said, look, Tony, you've been here longer. You helped me get this job. I don't feel comfortable, taking a management job. He said, Kevin, he said, take the damn position. Believe me. He said, I don't have the temperament for that. You do. I said, okay.
That's why I'm friends with you. Things like that. You're a man of honor. The first thing you thought of wasn't like, oh, I'm a fuck him. I got somehow talk yourself. Some people in that same position will talk themselves into disliking the other person so they can feel better about doing something they think in their little boy's mind is behind somebody's back. But not, you're a man, a real woman, a real person.
You're a mensch.
You're a mensch. That's the word I'm looking for. You go to the guy and tell them and see if it's all right. That's right.
Wait a minute. Kevin, did Wendell just say I'm a real man and a real woman? What the hell was that, man?
No, I want to say a real man. I don't want to just say a real man. Leave it at a real man without saying a real woman.
I know what you're saying, man. I
don't want to sound like it's not a manly thing. I'm only
a real woman after midnight, Wendell. Okay, just remember that.
Okay, and now his story's over.
That note, good Lord have mercy.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, right. Wait, there we go. Okay, everybody.
All right.
Adios and farewell.
Till next week. Week.
Huh? What's that?
Peace.
Oh, peace. I think you said Greece for peace. That's copyrighted.
All right, man. See you guys.
Okay. Adios, everybody.
Kevin, that's
I don't know how to turn this off.
We talk about things you want to know. From the bay we come to you freshest point of view. Watkins leads the way.